Happy New Year and welcome back to another Digital Den mini class. And this year we're going to be starting things off a little bit differently, starting off with a little bit of a competition between a variety of programs as today and throughout the month of January we are going to be learning how to put together a flyer. And we're going to be learning how to do this on 5 different programs. But which of these programs between Microsoft Word and Publisher, Adobe Spark, Canva, and Google Docs, which of these are going to be the best programs for you to use when putting together your flyer? Well, ultimately that's going to be up to you and your preference and what you like. But we're going to be learning how to use them on all 5 of these different programs and then rating them on a scale of which one is the most difficult, which one is the most time-consuming, and then, of course, which one has the best looking flyer all together. So we're going to be taking a look at today at Microsoft Word, and with all of these videos, we are actually going to be making the exact same flyer. So what comes up? What's the next big holiday after January? Valentine's Day, right? So we're going to be making a fake Valentine's Day flyer for a puppy party. On the screen here, I'm going to throw all of the different parameters for what needs to be included into this flyer. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Microsoft Word. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Digital Den mini class. We are kicking off our little flyer competition here with Microsoft Word. As you can see here, I have just opened Microsoft Word for the very first time here. On the left-hand side, you can see our recent documents that we have edited on Microsoft Word. But since we have opened it for the first time, we are not seeing anything over here on the left. And then on the right-hand side, of course, we've got some of the classic templates that you might have used in the past. Blank document is the thing that I use the most on here. But you might prefer single space line. You may have made your resume or cover letter on Microsoft Word, or maybe you're even doing something different. Maybe you're putting together a brochure, or like we're talking about here today, making a flyer. Now, it should be noted that we are using Microsoft 2016 because this is the Microsoft version that is currently available to all patrons at every location here at the Kokomo-Howard County Public Library. Eventually, we may update these to a more recent edition, but Microsoft Word does not really adjust things all that much as far as where things are located and how things are accomplished. And so even if you're using a newer version than what we're talking about here today, it's likely that it will not be that much different. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get things started here. So how are we going to make this flyer? Well, as you can see up here under suggested searches, the word flyer is on here, so we can click on that. And we will see a whole bunch of different flyer options here. We've got it says circle flyer, sale flyer, basketball flyer, festive flyer, basketball tournament, summer party flyer, and a whole bunch of other ones here. As we scroll through, we can see a lot of that stuff. Now, the problem with searching for just flyer in general is that we're seeing every possible type of flyer that is available here on Microsoft Word. And if we're looking for a specific Valentine's Day flyer, as you can see, here's one right here and another one right here. If we're looking for a specific Valentine's Day flyer, it could be difficult to find one, even though I found 2 of them. But you know what I mean? There's just a lot of options here. Here's one. And so it's better, I think, to be a little bit more specific and look for exactly what you're looking for. So I'm just going to type in Valentine's Day here. And we're going to see a lot of different options here. And you'll also notice that it's not only flyers because we are not specifically looking for flyers. We're looking for Valentine's Day, but we can change the category of what we're looking for over here on the right-hand side. So if I click on that, we'll only see the flyers that are available here. And we'll see the 2 flyers that we saw earlier and a couple of other options there, right? So which one do we like the most? Well, it really kind of just depends on what you're going for here. And this is, of course, just for an example that we're making a Valentine's Day flyer here. And so we're just going to click on this one. I really like this picture the most. I feel like it's kind of lovey-dovey. We get the picture, the full-on picture here. We can see all that, but the words are not skewed in any way that makes it difficult to read. I think this is pretty visually pleasing on the eye there. So we're going to click on Create on that. And then we're going to put together this flyer here. And so based on our parameters for what all we need to include here, we need the title of the event, an appropriately themed background, the date and time, the address of the event, and then of course BYOB, which means bring your own buddy, because it is a puppy party after all, and you got to bring your little furry friend. So let's go ahead and change these things so that we can get everything on there. So it says Parent-Teacher Association to start on here, and let's go ahead and change that to Kokomo. It would be great if I spelled right. Kokomo-Howard County Public Library. All right. And that doesn't look great, honestly, because Kokomo-Howard County Public Library is a little too long for this. So there's a couple of different ways we can fix this. We could either shrink the text, and I can do that by selecting all of it, by either grabbing the mouse and kind of clicking and dragging all of the words, or I could just click on Control A and that will select everything. And then I can come up here in the top left corner and I can change the font size to something a little smaller. So I could change it to about 14 and that'll do it for us. But if I wanted it to be bigger, I could come back over here to 18. I actually think it was 19 is what it said previously. So we'll put that back to what it was. And then I can click and drag on this here and I can actually extend the size of this shape. Now, what I don't recommend doing with these templates is changing the shapes around and moving them different locations and such too frequently, because the template was specifically designed for you to work within it. And as soon as you start making changes as far as moving things around, it could mess some things up. But resizing it is something that we could easily do here without changing too much. And look at that. It actually pushed everything onto the next page there. But what happens if we click and drag this up? Maybe if we can do that. Nope. Yeah, these templates, they really don't want you to mess with stuff too much. Okay, well then, that's a good example of what not to do, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and resize this until everything is there on the page, and then try to go as low as we can while everything's still there. Okay, I think that is going to be as low as we can take it. So we will go ahead and resize this, and let's drop it down to about 16. Okay, maybe up to 18. Nope, 16 is going to have to do it for us. So just to kind of make it a little bit more visually pleasing here. There we go. We kind of shrunk it down a little bit on each of the sides, and I think that looks pretty good. So we've got the Kokomo-Howard County Public Library on there at the top. The title of our event is Valentine's Day Party, so we don't have to edit this at all, but if we wanted to, we could. Hello. And let's put that back. All right, perfect. We'll say on this fake party that we are putting together for the purposes of this flyer that we will have prizes and games, so we don't have to adjust these, but we could, if we wanted to, we could say, we could change the text there. There we go. Games and prizes there, right? Let's see. We'll say that there's punch and cookies there as well, because you can't have a good party without some delicious food. And something to drink as well, right? All right, so here it says to replace the background image on the flyer, double click on the header and select the image, choose fill from the shortcut menu, and then choose picture from the list. All right, we're going to skip this step for now. We will ultimately end up changing this picture, but I do want to show you the easiest way possible to be able to put this together for our beginner people who are just now putting together these flyers for the first time. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the text here, and we need to make sure that it says BYOB, which stands for Bring Your Own Buddy. Must bring a dog to enter the party because dogs are the best. Cats are great too, but this is a puppy party, not a cat party. All right, fun. So the date here, February 14th is on a Friday this year, so that date works for us for our fake party event. But 2 to 4, what kind of party is that? Come on, we need we need to go all night. We need to make sure that we're having a good time. So let's say that it's, I don't know, 7 to 10, right? That's pretty good. So we're going to do that. We don't need it in the cafeteria. This party is going to be taking at the place at the Cage CPL Moon location. We don't have a moon location, but since the party's fake anyway, you know. Anyway, there you have it. That's a pretty good representation of how to make a really quick flyer. If you're not picky with, you know, exactly what picture is there and how it looks, this is pretty easy to be able to make your flyer for whatever upcoming event is, as long as it's a theme that is something that is available on Microsoft Word here. And there are quite a few options here, and some of them are pretty specific, but if you are going into a party that you really want specific pictures and things like that, you're going to probably want to go into it a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and change the background picture, though, to something different so that we can take a look at exactly how to do that. So it said to double click on the header, okay? And then we've got to select the picture, okay? And now we just need to probably just get rid of the picture, right? So now we just have kind of a blank background here. And so now what we need to do is we need to go to our pictures and select an appropriate one. And I have already downloaded a picture that I found on pixabay.com, Pixabay.com. It's one of my favorite websites because it's got a whole bunch of like millions of stock images that are completely for free for you to be able to utilize, right? So I'm going to click on pictures and I'm going to go over to our downloads and click on the one that I've downloaded here. It's a perfect Valentine's Day dog-ish picture for us that I found on Pixabay. And I'm going to just adjust the size here. One of the things I forgot to do is I forgot to click on this layout option here in the top right corner of the picture. And I need to click on where it says in front of text. So that way the text is all in front so that we can move our picture around without impacting where the text falls on the picture here, or on the page, right? Okay, all right, so I have zoomed in enough to be able to make it so that our picture looks really nice. The formatting of this actually works pretty well with our picture here. I can kind of go like that, and we can still see a lot of the dog, and we can still see you know, all of the information about our party here. That's going to come in pretty good. So let's go ahead and get out of the header section there. We can just double click on the right-hand side to get out. And let's go ahead and change where it says Valentine's Day party. And we are going to, we're going to just change the color of that so that it's something that pops a little bit more. I'm thinking maybe white. No. What about, let's see, a good color here. Something eye-catching, maybe yellow, blue. I like that blue. I think that blue looks nice. All right, so we've got our party title here. We have got our who's sponsoring the party. We've got, you know, what is going to be there. It says BYO buddy, and we've got the location and the date and time. So I think that's pretty much everything, and that's how you would do it if you had to change your picture. Okay. All right, now it is time to give Microsoft Word its overall score in this competition of how well that this flyer was put together. So out of a total possible score of 30 being the best and I guess 0 being the worst, we'll break things down by the 3 categories. So 10 is the best in each individual category. Starting off with difficulty. I would say that if you're just using the templates, you're going to be hard-pressed to find something easier than Microsoft Word to be able to put together this flyer. So if you're just using the templates, that'd be about a 9 out of 10, but I'm going to drop it down to about a 7 because if you do want to you know, host a party that is going to be something that isn't something that a template already has been created for, and you got to start changing stuff, it gets a lot more complicated. So we're going to drop it down to about a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Time spent. Out of a possible score of 10, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 in terms of the amount of time spent. Similarly to difficulty, if you just use the templates, it would be about a 9 out of 10 because you would just, you know, fill in everything that you needed to without changing anything, and it's going to be really fast. You could probably knock one out in like 5 minutes. But as soon as you start changing the pictures, moving things around, you know, you might have some errors with your flyer. It might drop down to 2 pages, and you got to try to condense things. That takes some time, and so we're going to drop it down to about a 7 out of 10 overall. So we are up to 14 out of 20 so far on this competition. And finally, we have looks. Honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised with how good that this flyer turned out for us. And as long as, again, you're sticking with the templates and not really deviating too much with those, you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how nice that these look. And so I'm going to give this score for looks at an overall 8 out of 10. So that is going to bring our total score out of 30 to a 23 out of the possible 30 there for Microsoft Word. Overall notes here, I think that we're going to be hard-pressed to find something that's going to be ultimately easier, faster, and looks as good as Microsoft Word. But this is only the first program that we are trying for the month. We've still got Microsoft Publisher, we've got Adobe Spark, Google Docs, and Canva to get through here. So let's go on to next week. We've got Microsoft Publisher, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.